All right, Carnal says, Geeks and Gamers fun fact, Resident Evil is both Ripa's and Avam's favorite video game series. Really?
Yeah, I've said that a million times.
So I didn't know it was your favorite, like overall.
Favorite video game franchise, yeah, for sure.
You talking about me?
You said Adam and Ripa's favorite video game series.
It's mine, for sure. I know I've said it.
I've never played any Resident Evil game.
Ooh.
Man, I don't know where they got that information. Right. That's CNN right there.
I haven't played any in a long time. Like, I played 1 and 2, a little bit of 4 one time at somebody's house, but I never really got into them all that much.
So Resident Evil there's some of my favorite. 4 is still what's your favorite one, Ripa?
Oh, I'm about to. You want me to drop a nuke in the chat?
Yeah.
Let's do it. 6. Come slay me, motherfuckers. Come slay me. Come slay me.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Holy
come fucking slay me. I'm ready for it. I want all smoke. I welcome it. Come on with it.
Hey, I will say this is a history-making main event because suddenly Uche's not the worst take from a black person connected to Geeks and Gamers anymore. So
I dropped that nuke. I'll drop that nuke for sure.
Ooh, the chat is
let them come to say whatever they need to say.
Ooh.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's what happens when you have conviction.
I like that about you, Ripa.
Okay.
Exactly. You have conviction. So you can't shame someone out of position they proudly have.
I need to understand.
I'll tell you why. Because it implemented a concept.
Hang on. To be fair. Now I checked out once 5 started moving us into that action-y bullshit, and then 6 apparently took it even further. So I never played 6. Yeah, I never played 6 because of 5, and then I heard 6 took it further in the direction 5 was moving us. So I just want to qualify that I haven't actually played it because I did not like the direction it was moving.
Yeah, it took what 4, 5, and 6 are. I would say those are my favorite of all of them. I particularly like, and that I get it. A lot of us came from Resident Evil. Like I said, this is someone saying this being my favorite franchise.
Jordan Army said Resident Evil 6 equals baby part.
Fuck no. That's disrespect. That I won't allow. If you want to disagree, that's fine. But I won't allow you to just conflate 2 different things like that, especially comparing to shit baby part. But no, seriously, I prefer the more actiony one. But I love of course, as a guy that definitely did a lot of couch co-op shit growing up. And Resident Evil 6 gave me that, as well as 5, I guess you could say, but more so 6. What is it? Well, it's technically 4 different campaigns that you could all do in addition to the action while playing alongside your bro in the Resident Evil franchise. I just found that fucking shit intriguing, and I did enjoy the action. I don't understand. This is what I thought. I'm gonna tell you, this was always a crackhead ass response. You can't say that the action shit was a bad part of Resident Evil and like Resident Evil 4. That's a retarded thing. You cannot say that.
No. Because no, because Resident Evil, so 1, 2, and 3 were great. But there was a necessary evolution that needed to happen to evolve the game beyond 1, 2, and 3 from a mechanic standpoint. Resident Evil 4 perfectly evolved it while still keeping it
Resident
true to
Evil
its roots.
4 was still an action game. It was still an action horror game.
It was not.
It was even... dog.
The movements are not. The movements are not.
Jeremy,
the movements are not that.
You got back there, Jeremy. But if you're gonna tell me Resident Evil 4 on the fucking GameCube was not a fucking action game, you're smoking crack. That's exactly what the fuck it was, man.
No, 5 is an action game. 4 is sweet in that middle, right in the middle.
Yes, 5 is a more advanced version of that. That I will say, and it does take it to the next level. But 4 absolutely was a fucking action game.
No, it evolved the Resident Evil formula where it needed to go without diverting from where it was.
What specifically are you referring to, Jeremy?
I'm talking about the over-the-shoulder cam. Okay, I'm talking about the movements were evolved. Okay, but it wasn't a full-on action. There was still a
Yes,
horror
it was.
mystery element
yes,
to
it
it.
was a action. It was over the shoulder. That's specifically what you're referring to, Jeremy. Is the fact that it turned it into a fucking action game. That's what
the over-the-shoulder
did.
didn't automatically turn it. Over-the-shoulder cameras don't automatically make something an action game.
No, I'm not saying that the over-the-shoulder aspect. I'm not saying that in itself is what makes it an action game. I'm saying that is attributed to the fact that it's an action game.
I will give you that it moves it more into an action-y territory, but I don't consider Resident Evil 4 an action game.
Well,
I consider Resident Evil 5 an action
Jeremy,
game.
That's why I tell you to lay off that shit, man. You can't be smoking that shit before the fucking stream, man. If you're gonna do that shit, you gotta do it like at least 4 to 5 hours, man. You need a grace period, man.
5 moves us more to an action game.
Stream.
5 moves us more to the action.
I will say that 5 moved the series more into the actiony sense, but I'm saying 4 was absolutely a fucking action game.
It was a step in that direction. I'll give you that, but I don't.
What the fuck does that mean, Jeremy?
What does that mean?
What the fuck does it moving it in the direction mean, man?
Okay, would you consider Gran Turismo an arcade racer? Okay.
I'm not that big into racer games other than fucking Mario Kart that I played.
But it's not. But I'd say Gran Turismo is nowhere near an arcade racer. Okay, so an arcade racer would be something like fucking Crazy Fucking Taxi or some bullshit like that. There's all this bullshit obstacles and shit like that. Okay. So there's this massive gap between an arcade-style racer and a racing simulator. Okay, and I think that's where Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 are. They are hardcore, like, survival horror. Whereas 5 and 6 were arcade shooters. 4 is right there in the middle where it takes a step away from that survival horror, but it still doesn't make it feel... There's not enough of it to make it a full-on action shooter because of the atmosphere, because of the mechanics, because of the movement. Because
the mechanics aren't that much different. What are you talking about, Jeremy? In what way? In what way? You're over the shoulder. What, Leon and 6 can fucking sprint side to side a little different. You're still hanging over his fucking shoulder. What, he can forward roll now a little faster and now it's more action? What the fuck does that mean? It sounds like to me what you're describing is the technological jump between those games that allowed them and afforded them more attributing to the more action style game that
let me ask you this.
Got you, Jeremy.
Let me ask you this. So are you saying Resident Evil 6 is your favorite game of all time? Considering Resident
No, I'm not saying Resident Evil 6 is my favorite game of all time. I'm saying of the series, that's what it was.
Okay.
But if I had to select, some people like 1 through 3, that's their favorites. Mine are 5 to 6. 4 to 6.
Okay.
I would argue that, of my favorite, I would say 6. 4 is arguably probably the best that it's ever been.
See,
but you're not gonna sit here and tell me that shit ain't no fucking action game.
Now again, with five, I played it enough to where I was turned off pretty quickly because of how actiony it felt versus 4, where 4 still made me feel like I was in a survival horror game. I didn't feel like I could just run and gun and do whatever the fuck I wanted.
You can't do that. You can't do that, and then you can't really do that in 5. It's more. I will give you that argument that yes. In comparison to the 2, if you had to describe both of them, you'd say 5 is the more action game of the 2.
That's what I'm saying.
That doesn't mean 4 isn't one.
But I'm saying 4 definitely stepped us away from 3 and got us closer to where we ended up with 5 and 6. But correct. I still feel that 4 managed it perfectly. It was an evolution that was necessary for the Resident Evil franchise.
I think that I would disagree in the sense that I think a lot of people are saying that are like tryhards when it comes to fucking anime and dubs versus subs. It's a retarded non-argument that doesn't make any fucking sense. No, I'm gonna tell you, it's a retarded fucking argument that doesn't make sense. And there's a lot of people that envision how the shit was, but I would encourage you right now to go play Resident Evil 4 and then go play 5. The mechanics are almost fucking identical, man. They're almost fucking identical. They're almost the same goddamn thing. It's just more explosions and other shit going on. Yeah, I give you that. moving a little bit away from more of the horror aspect. But 4 was absolutely a fucking action game, man.
4 moved us away from Resident Evil enough to where it was a proper evolution, but it wasn't too much. 5 is where it crossed the line. That's literally the case for anything. When you are towing a line, 5 went over that line, and that's why a lot of people didn't like 5 and 6.
I think, yeah, I get what a lot of people said, but I'm saying you're making a shit argument that doesn't make any fucking sense because the games, in terms of their movement, are almost fucking identical.
Okay,
they're almost identical. I heard what you're saying, and it sounds good, and that's what a lot of people say. But if you play the fucking game, you don't gotta take my word for anything. If you actually play
the fucking 5,
right, if you play the game, then you know that
that's
generally
why
the mechanics. But the mechanics are almost fucking identical. The only thing is happening is that the atmosphere in which they are around is a little different.
Though. The atmosphere of Resident Evil is a crucial aspect of Resident Evil.
What are you talking as far as
the
what?
The atmosphere of Resident Evil.
But the atmosphere doesn't change the mechanics in terms of the game style, Jeremy. It just changes the fucking atmosphere.
That's part of it.
Just because I'm not hacking and slashing.
Wait a minute. So you're saying if I played Resident Evil mechanics in the world of Animal Crossing, it's still a fucking Resident Evil game? That's going to change every fucking thing.
No. See, that's not what we're arguing. Now you're moving the code. You're pulling a Fauci right now, man.
I ain't moving shit.
Yes, you are. You're pulling a Fauci.
You said the environment doesn't matter.
We're not. No, I'm saying the environment doesn't necessarily like change. In fact, what the game mechanics
literally
are.
does. No, not the mechanics. No, I didn't say
that's what I'm saying.
Mechanics.
That's what we're talking about. The mechanics of whether or not it's an action game. Right, you can have a cartoony, Looney Toony ass action game, and you can have a more dark action game. You can have a more dark hack and slash or something like that, or a more goofy hack and slash. It doesn't stop it from being a fucking hack and slash, Jeremy.
That's part of the element, though. All right, we're gonna do this. I'll come on your fucking show. We got more people here.
Do this because you're wrong. Objectively speaking,
I'm not wrong.
Objectively speaking, you're wrong. You're incorrect on this.
And you know
For the
why?
record,
you know why?
Hold on, Jeremy. I
Go
need
ahead.
to just interject here. I got to tell you. All right, the entire chat. I've been watching. I've never played these games. I have no part of this conversation. The entire chat is telling you you're wrong, and Rip has got you.
How am I wrong though?
It's about the action sense is what it is. I'm telling like I think a lot of people
Rip is using his blue check mark.
No.
So like you
I
know,
think
like
you're overstating your and it's not just you, Jeremy. A lot of people
you could tell who was struggling, who wasn't, because Ripa said I was smoking crack and I'm Fauci. Why would he need to say those things if he was making valid points?
Because that's what you are
making
doing.
Valid points.
That's a person who's struggling to
I
make
haven't
his valid
dismantled that
points.
nonsense about the game mechanics, which you're objectively wrong about.
I
don't need to tell you smoke crack in order to do that. I'm trying to give you an out for explaining why your position is so shit, because you're smoking crack before you actually said I'm actually helping you out, Jeremy.
The environment is taking the environment has a huge impact on how the game.
I don't disagree with that. Disagree with that.
Not the game mechanics, how the game feels to be in. That's why I brought up the Animal Crossing thing. Like that changes the entire
that's why
feel
it's a bad argument,
because
you're moving the post, because we're talking about the action game element. What I said and what I explicitly stated was that 4 absolutely was a fucking action game. It's not up for dispute. It's not up for argumentation at all. Resident Evil 4 was an action game, definitely when you compare it to the first fucking 3. It was an action game. That's not my opinion.
Jeremy, you were saying that the 1 through 3, the key part of it was a survival horror, right?
Yes.
Is it possible to be an action survival horror? Because that's what I'm gathering of you guys arguing. That's what 4 is, an action survival horror game.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. That's why I said it steps us away from what 1, 2, and 3 gave us, and it pushes us closer to where 5 and 6 took us. But I'm not ready to say that's a full-on action game. I would say that's a survival action horror game, because I don't feel
you admit it though.
Right. But I don't. But an action game is where I feel that I can just run and gun and blast everything in my way.
But
and
you couldn't do that in any of the Resident Evils, man.
But I think the problem is we're talking about action game. I think that's like not a really good term to be even arguing about.
Well,
because,
I guess it's how do you define that? That's really what it
because
comes
what
down
you guys
to.
are really talking about are like a horror game, vice maybe like not really adventure game. but like an adventure shooter type of game. You know what I mean? Where like you're not sitting there creeping around corners, worried about what might come out in front of you, regardless whether you're first or third person.
Right. So what you're saying, Ripa, is you're saying 4. There's no difference in 4 to 5 to 6.
No,
that's not what I'm saying.
I mean generally. No, I don't mean like specifically.
Hold on. This whole thing started with Ripa saying, if you shit on 6 and something comparing 4 to 6, like if you are making fun of 6 but you love 4, then there's something wrong with you.
Bingo. And I was specifically talking about the action game element, which is a criticism that a lot of people give that don't like, let's say 5 and 6, 6 being the one that a lot of people don't like in comparison to those two. You're being a fucking hypocrite if you say that you like Resident Evil 4, because the mechanics are almost fucking identical. It's just a little more movement. You cannot fucking run and gun. It's not a run and gun game. You still can't fucking run and gun. Even on 6, which was more of an action game of all of them, you can't run and gun in those games either. They're essentially the same. The thing that I will say is that, of course, 5 in comparison to 4, 5 and 6 in comparison to 4, introduce more of the like, okay, yeah, you got these kind of zombie-esque elements, but they're more the like big monsters and some, you may go through in this area that it's more kind of classic style where so there's jump scares and shit like that's there. But in other cases, you may be outdoors and kind of doing your thing in that regards. That's more the statement that I make. A lot of people criticize 5 and 6, for example, specifically in regards that it's not like akin to more 1 and 3 in terms of it being a more, run in this room, you see your guy kind of fucking in this camera, and it's more like a survival horror, and one's an action game,
shit like that, right? Scarcity of resources I think scarcity of resources.
Well, yeah, but all that still existed in those games. Is just, again, there's more. Obviously, there's a little more mobility into the 4, 5, and the 6. There's a little mobility, but what I'm specifically talking about in regards to like Resident Evil 4 versus the 5 and the 6 of the world, if you criticize it for particularly being an action game, is what I'm referring to. That is taking a hypocritical position if you like or enjoy rather Resident Evil 4, because that was a fucking action game. And like I said, you don't have to take my word for anything. If you take 4 and you take 5 and you play them, the gameplay mechanics are almost fucking identical. They're almost identical. Even 6 has that same element where you're using Leon in 6 and you're using Leon in 4. They specifically try to make a play on that. Did the atmosphere slightly change? Absolutely. Hell, all three campaigns in for example 6 are different in terms of style. You implement more of the militaristic style and what you get maybe in an action game when you do Chris's versus what you do with maybe Leon's. It kind of has that more 4-esque feel. That's the only argument that I'm making. It's not that 4 is different or 5 or 6 isn't even different from 4. I'm saying you cannot criticize it on that basis while then praising the other, which virtually did the same thing.
Chat's having fun. Did you guys enjoy that?
Some of them did. Some of them are fucking over it. Put it lightly.
Well, they always like, people always say like they want arguments, and every time I've been on a stream that there was a big long argument, we lose viewers. Like every time, you know what I mean? Like me and Ryan have lost so many fucking viewers by arguing over shit.
Hold on, there's a difference between a good argument where it starts going somewhere and then an argument like the one we just witnessed, where there was a lot of reiteration you guys were saying the same shit over and over again. And I'll be honest, I was more on Rip's side there.
One of the guys making the arguments on crack, I told y'all that was the reason why
he had to bring Fauci into it.
We're not going back there.
I'm staying right
you know
there.
What?
Get off the goddamn crack,
hey, listen, honey. Listen, honey.
I know that's your fucking boy.
A wise man.
Yo, Ripa. So that person that gets to call you honey, is that Jeremy?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was alluding to. My union is this is my union with Jeremy.
Yeah.